hello, boys and girls, dogs, grandmas, grandpas, children out there. This is another of our series of TV shows called Dog Tales. Now you can spell tales T-A-L-E-S or T-A-I-L-S, that doesn't matter. Anyway, this is a special, hopefully a new series of our program in which we're involving more dogs than just Millie. It started with Millie, who's over here, that's my dog. This time we've invited a very good friend of Millie's. His name is Squirt. I don't know if you can see him in the TV, but Squirt and Millie play with each other a great deal, and he's a great dog. And we've also invited another person to do the reading. This is a young woman. Her name is Shiloh Savage, and she's going to do some of the reading, most of the reading probably, maybe all of the reading, and she and I might chat occasionally. And I want to say that tonight, it's a very important night, there's going to be, many of you kids know this, there's going to be a presidential debate, the third in a series of presidential debates. And this story is sort of related to the debate. You listen to it and see what you think. Okay? Here we go. Shiloh?
Here we go. Millie gets along with just about everybody and anybody, animal or human. She makes friends very easily, and she has a great many individuals who love and respect her, people as well as dogs. She loves and respects them in return. Unusual for a dog of her class and her position, she also has a number of interesting cat acquaintances, some of whom she counts on as her closest friends and whom she can confide her innermost thoughts. Millie is an enlightened, liberal-minded canine. She is generous with her time and completely trusting in everybody in every way. Everybody knows her and believes in her, and she believes in them. She extends her positive attitude beyond individuals to important political issues. She is a charter member, for example, of the Hanover, New Hampshire Black Dogs Matter Society, and she initiated the Drop the Leash movement, which is catching on nationally. Millie is therefore remarkably worldly for a local animal with little experience in the big world.
True.
Yeah,
it is true.
That's very true. Another example, one of her best friends is Squirt.
Squirt!
Squirt, yeah, that's your name. Squirt happens to be a white dog, yeah, but does not bother Millie at all. In fact, she seems to enjoy being seen in public with him. They're actually known as a couple, aren't they?
They're kissing each other.
Aww,
now.
so in love. His presence makes clear to everyone that she is a fair animal entirely without prejudice. Millie is remarkable in every respect. Well, almost.
We'll get to that.
The single exception to what I've related, Millie does not appreciate squirrels.
No.
Squirrels, I asked. What's the matter with squirrels? Unfortunately, she said, I have never met a squirrel I could trust. None that was worth the time of day. Squirrels are born cheats, sneaks, and busy buddies, every last one of them. I'm surprised at you, Millie. I'm shocked, indeed, as well as disappointed. Why do you come up with such a terrible prejudice nonsense? I do not know squirrels, she snapped back. I do not.
Yeah.
I don't know squirrels.
Right.
I don't know squirrels.
Yeah.
You do.
You understand.
Apparently.
Yeah.
They're primitive, entirely dishonest species. What's more, they want to take over the forest. They do?
That's what she says. I don't believe that, but
I don't know. I guess she's the political one, right?
yeah.
They talk in idiotic, squeaky sentences that nobody can understand. Yeah, she's looking at me like, why are you talking like a squirrel?
She thinks you're a squirrel.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. No normal animal talks like that. Why can't they bark decently like dogs? Plus, they hop and they gallop like they don't gallop like a self-respecting animal. They hop and hop and hop. It's disgusting to watch. It's Millie speaking, not me. And they're sneaky. They come up for a friendly sniff and backside, and zip, they disappear into the nearest tree. Finally, they steal acorns from trees in the forest floor. Not that I especially like acorns, but it's the principle of the thing.
Well, she's a principled dog.
Of course. In conclusion, I say they are terrorists and a threat to our way of life. I guess she's...
I don't know.
She's made a point, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. She's basically a very conservative dog.
Yeah, in that respect.
Yeah.
With that, she was off. I have a meeting of the Black Dog Society, she explained. We are discussing the squirrel threat this very night. Her words hit me very hard. This is not a fair-minded, peace-loving dog I knew. Who was this mad dog? Where had we failed as parents? Wait, Millie, I shouted after her. We've got to talk this over.
Yeah.
Some other time, she yelled back. I can't be late. I'm giving a paper tonight on the evils of the leash law.
She's very much opposed to that leash law.
I think a lot of dogs are.
Yeah.
I know Squirt would like to be off his leash right now. The next day, I ran into Millie in Storrs Pond Park. She no longer lives with us, by the way. She is a grown-up now and has a lovely den for herself in a nearby stable. Mary and I haven't had the chance to visit her, but Millie has always liked being around horses, and horses do tend to love and respect her. I'm sure it's okay. I asked her how she could afford such fine lodgings. Oh, work. I work. I have a very good job, she explained. With visible pride, she said, police work.
Police work.
Police work.
Police
That's
work.
interesting.
She's not a police dog, but
Yeah.
it's okay.
Have to go to the academy for that.
Yeah, well,
What do you do? I mind the hen house. The guard before me was a red fox on an all-bird diet. He stuffed himself and then they fired him, which is understandable.
it happens.
Then a tiny gray squirrel with a huge bushy tail scampered by. Millie leaped to her feet and scrambled after it, but the squirrel merely stuck out its tongue as if to say, nah, you can't catch me. Yeah, right, Squirt? Yeah. Then she scrambled up a leafy maple tree and was gone. Millie galloped after it, but to no avail. She even tried to climb the tree, but being vain, she was embarrassed about how foolish that she looked. She gave up and returned, growling, to where I sat. Horrible, horrible little pests, she grumbled. We should send them back to where they came from. Calm down, Millie. That's right, you need to calm down a little bit. What harm do little squirrels do? Why not live and let live? There you go again. You're a namby-pamby do-gooder. I tell you what harm they do. They steal acorns, that's what they do. Yeah, you want those acorns, Squirt? Big deal, I said. I don't know if you like acorns. I don't, Millie admitted. It's the principle of the thing. Just then, a second squirrel came lopping across the lawn, this time a young pretty one. Another monster, Millie screamed, and scooted after the terrified rodent. Instantly, the sweet squirrel scrambled up the trunk of a nearby maple tree and disappeared in its uppermost branches. Millie tried to follow, but got no further than bumping her head on the trunk just above the ground, far below its lowest branches. Then she got her foot stuck in a rabbit hole. Curses, Millie said as she limped back to me. We must put a stop to this nonsense. At once, I tell you. How will you manage that? I asked. I shall gather all the local dogs together, and we will build a wall of stones and border around the forest. No squirrel will get through unless he or she can take the no tree climbing oath that I shall compose as soon as I return home. And I will make the squirrels pay for it.
I don't think that's going to work.
I don't think you're going to get them to agree to that, Millie, but
maybe it's worth a try. I don't like it.
I don't like it, but we'll see. Just then, a cheerful chipmunk scurried by, sweet, hi, to us, and then scooted over to a log and disappeared into the underbrush. Millie leaped after it, but it ran very fast. Poor Millie was soon out of breath and breathing heavily. I guess she just came back from chasing it, seems.
I mean, the story is really getting to her, and she's sort of into
Getting
the
emotion.
story.
Yeah. She did not pay attention to where she was going and plunged into a hedge of thorns and brambles. She came limping back again. And chipmunks, she growled. Also evil. I despise them. Well, I said, good luck on your project, Millie. Foolish though it clearly is.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. As we parted, a graceful young deer stood alert and alone on a hillock no more than 20 yards away. She observed us carefully. With an impulsive leap, Millie raced towards the deer and provocatively shouted, "See you later, dog face," as she scurried into the forest. Millie limped back again, huffing and puffing. Ugh, she moaned. Do you see what I mean? Look what it's come to. The lawn, the fields, the hills, the forest, they're no longer part of the dog community. They have fallen into the hands of the uncivilized strangers who have never so much as civilized over a bone or a dog biscuit.
Yeah. You could see it from her point of view, I suppose.
A little bit, yeah. But they do not respect our customs. They do not speak either the dog or the people languages. They stick to themselves. They are up to no good. Yet something must be done. It is time for our community to rise up. Go to the dogs. We finally parted. I left, concerned about Millie, who always had been the most friendliest beast, open to all creatures, whatever species. What has become of her? What indeed will become of all of us? Oh. That evening, the neighborhood dogs gathered in Millie's stable. George, a splendid gray-black, long-haired mutt, rose to open the meeting. Bitches and studs, he began. Our respected founder, Millie, has asked us to come together and discuss a critical problem that affects the entire community. I therefore turned the meeting over to Millie. Millie wagged her tail in the most dignified manner. Rose came forward and took the microphone. Friends, she began, we have all noticed our fields and forests have been overrun by hordes of foreign animals, squirrels, chipmunks, deer, and heathen?
And heaven.
I'm so
heaven knows
sorry.
what.
Woo!
That's okay.
Brain fart moment. Heaven knows what else. There is no room left for traditional, old-fashioned, decent dogs. Shouts came from the audience. Kick the foreigners out! Arrest them! Bite them! I have a plan, Millie hushed the crowd and continued. We shall build a giant wall around our fields and forests. It will be so strong and so high, no one will be able to climb it. And we shall make the squirrels pay for it in acorns. Cheers rang out in the crowds. Yes, yes, a wall, yes, and pay for it in acorns. Millie raised her right front paw. The crowd went silent. Then she shouted, At long last, our entire community shall go to the dogs. Prolonged barks, howls, and yips. After the meeting, everyone congratulated Millie on her inspiring talk and brilliant plan. Millie received the compliments graciously, politely sniffing each rear end in return. Later on her way home, Millie happened upon a feeble old squirrel who hobbled across her path. He carried a big load of acorns in his mouth. Suddenly, he tripped, and the nuts spilled over on the path. Although Millie, not disposed to socialize with squirrels, she still, in some respects, was a decent dog.
Yeah, well, deep
All
down.
I've heard is that she's so sweet, and then the squirrels thing.
I know.
Such a
Well,
surprise.
there are two sides to everybody,
Yeah.
you know. We're all,
Without a moment's thought, though,
yeah,
she rushed to his side.
yeah.
She helped him raise up and proceed to assist him gather the nuts, which she placed in a neat pile beside him. "Thank you so much, miss," he said, breathing heavily, as she guided him to a log where she sat and collected herself. "I have a problem," Millie confessed. "I simply cannot be helpful.
I cannot.
Help being
Being
helpful. I cannot help being helpful. It is my nature." "Please come to my nest," said the old squirrel. "You will meet my lovely wife, and the three of us can chat and drink a bit of fermented pine sap together. I've heard it's delicious."
Yeah.
"Thank you," Millie said. "I think I will. I have never visited a squirrel's nest before. It might be an interesting experience." Using a combination of vines, stones, and twigs and nutshells, the old squirrel helped Millie climb the chestnut tree, where high in its branches lay its home. His wife met them at the door. "Where have you been, dear?" she asked. "I was so worried. And who is this with you?" "Oh, I see, it's a dog. My heavens, a dog. I hope she did not do you any harm." The old squirrel then told his wife the entire story, and to his canine companion, he added, "This Millie, a highly
No,
moral...
this is Millie.
This is Millie, a highly moral animal who is my trusted friend, and to all squirrels everywhere, and a friend to all squirrels everywhere." Millie wagged her tail, as she is doing now. The end.
That's the end. Well, boys and girls, thank you very much, Shiloh. That was very nice reading.
Thank you for having me.
We all appreciated this. And boys and girls out there, as well as parents, grandparents, and teachers, you should know that this is the new format for our program. We hope that there will be other dogs and other young people who would like to come to the program and read a story about dogs. It could be a story that you yourself write, but I will hopefully always be prepared to hand you a story that I've written, because I've gotten into the bad habit of writing dog stories. I can't stop. I don't really like doing it.
Such a wonderful
but I
dog.
just keep doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thank you for watching our show, and come back again. We're going to try to do a show once a month. Okay? Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.